So alive, and tonight I'm thinking I don't wanna go.
What's up everyone, welcome back to my June journey series. So as you all know, I'm posting every single day of the month of June. If you want to keep up with all my June journey videos, I will have a playlist linked here just to make sure you don't miss out on anything and know what's happening in the month of June for me. So yes, finally this video is here. I was thinking like what should I shoot for today, and then I realized that so many of you really want me to share how I edit my videos, and honestly I don't do anything extravagant or unique or different or any of that sort. It's very basic editing, but since anyways all of you wanted to really want to watch how I do this, I thought I should just make a video on this and hopefully it'll help you guys. I use Adobe Premiere Pro and it's literally like the best video editing software. But of course, if you're starting off, you don't need an expensive video editor like this. There's so many free ones out there which I'm not very well aware of, but I do know that there are good ones, so you can just search it up on the net and I'm sure you'll find good free ones. So I already have a video in hand. It's about consistency. If you haven't watched that video, I will also link it up here. This is basically a behind the scenes to editing that particular video. So let's move to my computer. Okay, so we have the consistency project. This is how a blank project looks. I'm assuming if you're watching this, you might know basics of Premiere Pro, or even if you don't, you can just watch tutorials on YouTube. That's how I learned myself. I'm self-taught. Anyways, so I'm going to go to my consistency folder. That's where I've put all the raw files, and I'm just going to drag and drop into this. Now, I just like to go over some of my clips because most of them are like, I'm just checking focus and the lighting and all of that. So I can see it's a bakwas, so I'm just going to delete all of that, and this is also because I'm going to delete that. Okay, definitely this is one of the actual ones, so I'm going to drag this file onto my main timeline. Now I'm just going to drag this so that the audio is seen, and also drag this so that the video is seen. There are a lot of keyboard shortcuts. I'm using an iOS system, so some shortcut keys might be different. Just keep that in mind if you're using Windows. But yeah, plus and minus works with the magnification, so I like to play with that a lot when I'm editing the chote details. So this is the first step I do. I import the important files. Right now I'm just checking the lighting and coloring of this entire video. It looks fine. Maybe I could increase the brightness a tad bit just to make it a bit more visually appealing. I'm on the editing panel. There's so many panels on Premiere Pro. But now I'm going to move to color, and I'm going to just play a bit with the lighting options here. Again, I'm not an expert. See, exposure thoda 0.4, that's all. Now without the exposure, this is how it looks. With exposure, this is how it looks. So that's all I play with. And sometimes I do play with the temperature. I like my video to be moderately warm, not too much. So I'm just going to cool this down a bit and just see how the effect is. Yeah, I think I like it this way. So now what happens is the entire video is of this exposure and color. Now another thing, of course, you might notice is these two clips are separate. So what I like to do is I can just go on the effect controls here and go to lumetri color, right click and save preset. And I'm just going to name it as temp. By temp, I just mean temporary. Temporary consistency. I'm going to select these two clips because see, now the problem is this entire clip is of this exposure and color. Yeah, suddenly it became a bit darker, right? So we don't want that. We want the entire video to have the same color. Now I'm going to go to the effects panel here, go to presets, just going to select these two remaining clips. And on the left side, you can see there is temporary consistency. I'm going to drag and drop it over here. And now it's the same lighting and all of that. Like this part, I'm not ready. I'm clearly thinking, doing something, doing my hair. So I don't really need this empty space. So I'm just gonna hit C. C means the cut, and I'm gonna click there. And I'm also gonna click here. And then I press V. V is the normal mouse. It's the normal selection tool. C karne se I can just keep cutting, and V karne se it's back to the selection tool. I'm gonna select these clips because I know they're useless and hit delete, and that's it. Now click the empty space and hit delete so that it joins. So this is what I will be doing majority of the video. You can see it's quite a long video. It's more than half an hour. Yeah, it's more than half an hour. So that's the basic edit, okay? I did go ahead and edit the first few bits of the video, like just the intro. So I'm at this part where I'm explaining what consistency means. Now I like to add certain overlays for like titles and stuff like that. So I'm trying to explain what being consistent means. Now I'm going to go to the left side, hit right click, and you will see new item, and then I'm going to go to color matte. Okay, now this does not matter, it's already in the size of my video. Okay, Now you can choose the color of your choice. You know me, I use normally pastel shades. I just feel like a yellow nowadays. That should be good enough. So I'm gonna hit OK. You can rename it as yellow, up to you. So we have, you can see we have this color mat created on the left side. Now I'm going to drag and drop it over this clip. Now I'm going to drag and put it right above this so that the size is same. Click on the yellow clip, go to effect controls, and then I'm going to go to opacity, and I'm going to just drag and reduce the opacity. I think a 50 should do. So you can see now there's a filter, literally a yellow filter on top of this part of the video. Now next what I'm going to do is, you can see a T button here. That's basically type tool. That's where I get all my text. I'm just gonna hit this on the screen and it automatically creates the type tool here. You can see even on the timeline it's created that graphic. What is consistency? I'm just gonna like resize it to however I'd like it to be. Now of course I don't like this font. This is the default one. Again, on the effect controls you can see the text part here. You can just hit the down toggle, font, and many other options for text. So my usual font is Baby Doll. I've mentioned it before on my channel. That's what I use on my thumbnail as well. There you go. So this is my usual font, so I'm gonna go with this only. But what I'm going to do is, I like the white color, so I'm going to let that stay. I'm going to click stroke, and what this basically means is if I drag it a bit up, it basically creates a border right around the text, and just choose any color that I like. So you could make it like as thick as you'd like or as thin as you'd like. This I'm going to drag it back to where the yellow part is and make it shorter. It's just that small graphic element can make your videos look a bit more interesting. Otherwise it's just bland me talking for 30 minutes straight. So I try to include some text and graphics and some B-roll shots and all of that. Thing I really like to do is zoom in. Like you will see a lot of zoomed in effects on my videos just to dramatize that moment a bit more. So here I'd like to zoom in this particular part. After clicking on the clip, I'm just going to double click here. There are these borders where you can just zoom in and zoom out. So of course we just want to zoom in. So I'm gonna drag it out and just move it a bit so I'm sort of in the center. So that's how you do it. It's quite simple, guys. So now you can see there are a lot of red and green marks on top. I'll quickly explain what that is. So these are basically bookmarks of sorts, like that's how I see them. For example, there's this part where I am saying something and I want to add some sort of graphics. So I'll just hit M and it creates this page marker on top. The default color is green. If I want, I can just keep it as green, or if I want, I can double click and change the color. I could even name it something. So that's what I've done with these page markers. So what these colors essentially mean to me, the reds are all the titling. So for every point, I want the title to be there as a heading sorts, and all the greens are the transitions. So let's quickly move on to the greens and show you the transitions I usually use. Since the green is here, meaning I need the transition between these two clips, so I'm going to select these two. Now I have already set a default shortcut for my default transition that I use for all my videos, and the shortcut is Command or Control D. So you can see the default transition which I use, which is called a slide on Premiere Pro, has already been created. This is so time efficient and it really saves so many seconds and minutes of my entire editing time. Now that this is done, I will double click this, and the default timing of the transition is 25 seconds, which is a lot. I normally keep it at 7 or 5. That's all. It's a very simple transition. And of course, if you haven't set the default, you can just go to effects panel here and then hit on video transitions, and then you can go on, I think it's on slide, yes, and there is the slide thing. You can just drag and drop it wherever you'd like. I usually like to put it in the center rather than on either of the sides, so I just put it in the center. Then again, double click, change the timing. If you want, you can even go on the effects control and just change the direction of the slide. So if I want like up to down, I can click on this arrow, and now you'll see the transition is from up to down. This is how I do my transitions. It's a very simple transitions. I don't do anything fancy. And after I'm done doing the transition, I will just remove the marker just so that I don't get confused later on. So I'm just going to clear selected marker. I'm going to go to the red marker. Now this is the first point I'm talking about. Set realistic and practical goals. So this is where I'd like my titling to be. Now I like to add a bit of animation when it comes to my titling. You would have noticed like a sort of stars effect or some hearts or something like that on my videos. So how I usually get those effects is just download green screens from YouTube. This is how the effect is. Very Tumblr, very aesthetic. So I just copy and paste the URL to this particular website called as Y2Made. You can use any YouTube downloader, but just make sure it's safe, like do it at your own risk. These sites normally come with a lot of adware and stuff, so just be careful. Or you could just screen record it as well, that's completely up to you, and then you can just hit download and download that particular video. And guys, this way not just stars, you can get anything like animated hearts, for example. There you go. Like you can literally find whatever animation you want. So please make use of these free green screens that thankfully all these users are readily sharing with us. So now I'm going to go back and get the yellow color matte. Simply go back to where I did have the yellow titling thing. There you go. So I'm literally just going to select it. Command C, which is basically copy. Again, it's all about shortcuts, guys. Go to the red mark. Before pasting, I'm just going to lock these two video and audio channels, otherwise it'll replace it. So now I'm gonna hit Control V or Command V, which is paste. But I just want this added stars effect on this, so I'm going to go with the green screen. I'm going to press Command L, which is basically unlinking the video and audio, deleting it because, well, we don't need it. Right click and set to frame size. There you go. I'm going to press Command X, which is cut. Again, lock the video because we don't want it to replace the actual clip. Paste it. So we have the stars here. Now we don't want this green color, of course. So we are going to go to the effects panel here and then Ultra keys and go to Ultra key. I'm going to drag and drop it on the green screen, and on the effects control here, we have Ultra key right here. The key color is black. I'm going to click the eyedropper tool and just click on the green. And there you go. The green is down and we are left with only the stars, which is what we wanted. Now, of course, I don't want it here. I want it on top of the titling. So I'm just going to put this here. There you go. Drag it to the size. Let me just zoom it in. Otherwise, I can't make out. Yes. Now, of course, I don't want what is consistency. I'm just going to change this into set realistic. Goals. There you go. Realistic and practical goals. Now for my music, I use Epidemic Sound. That's like the best platform out there, but it is also paid. But yeah, for me, music is so important. You would have noticed like I use music very intentionally, depending on the mood of the video, depending on the scene, what's happening, even like for my intro, everything. Like it means a lot to me. So yeah, I've invested in a platform like Epidemic Sound where I'm getting music from. So yeah, I've downloaded a couple that I keep using in all my videos. You would have noticed some typical ones that I use in most of my videos as background music. So I'm just going into this old video of mine, taking one of the music parts because, well, it's easier this way than going and searching on my computer and all of that. So I'm just making sure that I'm locking the audio tracks. I'm going to put it on audio track 3. That's where I put my music usually. Now here the volume has already been reduced because I copy pasted it from another video of mine. This is the Miracle Morning file, by the way, in case you're wondering. So I don't need to reduce the volume. Yeah, I think this volume works. So I'm just going to paste until, well, it reaches the end of the video. So yeah, I'm going to stop it exactly before the channel members page comes up. Yeah, that's how I do music. Now do keep in mind, this is like a very typical way of how I edit my sit down videos. Sit down videos are the easiest to edit because it's just me sitting in one place and I can just, well, keep editing as is. I haven't added any b-roll yet. I'm wondering if I should. Maybe I will. B-roll is basically just any footage that I would have shot earlier to put on top of me talking. But yeah, other than that, this is pretty much done. I just have to add the intro at the beginning. Let me know if I missed out on anything. Let me know if you want to know something else. I hope this video really helped all of you. This is not the sort of content I do on my channel, obviously. So I really hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please don't forget to leave a big thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and join the MEGFAM. And that's pretty much it. I will see you all tomorrow in my next June journey video. Till then, stay happy, positive and blessed and stay safe. Bye.
Oh.